that on, see if it does anything.
Okay. There's that
I
one.
don't know.
Now, well, that's going to work out just right.
So, who these people are.
Okay, then
I can't figure
this-
out who those kids are.
This would have to come next. Now that's Herb right there, isn't it? Looks like it. I'll bet that's Jennifer's black hair. Looks like her.
Yeah, there's her.
Yeah, but who's setting? Is that Vicky or Chris?
That's Vicky, because she was taking pictures.
Well, who's?
Just to see if we've got these pictures right there. Now, you said that was Grandma Pittman holding Pearl there?
Yeah,
Okay.
And go ahead. And who else?
and this, no, I don't know about next year. This was Florence,
Yeah. And she was about 15 years old, you said there.
I think about 14, and
Yeah.
then about 14. And that's Grandpa Whittington.
Yeah. You said that was great.
That's his mother,
Yeah.
great-grandma.
What was her first name? Do you know? You don't remember?
I know,
Okay.
but I can't
What,
think.
what was his first name then? Dan?
William.
William.
Uncle Bill, I call
Oh.
him William.
Oh,
William, I don't know what else.
That's Grandpa Whittington.
yeah.
And Grandma
Right.
Whittington. Her name was Lizzie. Elizabeth, probably, because
Probably.
they always called Uncle Bill and Aunt Liz.
Yeah. Okay, then right here.
And that's Mamie.
I got Grandma Whittington in the wrong place or something.
No.
My sister Mamie.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. The third woman to the left. Yeah. Then,
I still think this one here is Aunt Edel, but we're not sure, you said.
Yeah,
and here is,
that's Harley. And here's Kelso.
yeah. And the twin.
And there's one of the twins, and here's one of
What
them.
did you say their names was?
Carol and Farrell.
Last name?
Hendershot.
Okay.
Hold it.
What did you say this woman's name was that took care of
Cynthia.
Cynthia? Oh, you didn't know her last name.
And she took care of,
She was living with great grandma Whittington.
taking care of her.
Yeah.
Is this the one you said that lived in the one room, and then they had to go down the steps to another?
No,
Room.
that's this one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
They moved in there because she was getting so feeble, and they didn't trust Cynthia too far, I guess.
And what did you say about their room? What kind of rooms they had to live in?
I said there was just the one room. They had their bed in that, and then you went downstairs to where they had their kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
on just a dirt floor.
And an old wood stove.
Yeah,
What else was there?
I can't remember about the stove, but I know it had to be.
And then this was a reunion.
Yeah.
Where?
A Whittington reunion at Great Grandma Whittington's house.
Located where?
Huh?
Where was it, did you say?
At Great Grandma Whittington's house.
Well, where was her place?
It was on Old 46.
What was the road's name then? Did it have a name?
46.
Oh, it was named 46 then?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know they were named then.
between Columbus and Nashville. We live just about halfway between Columbus and Nashville.
Nashville, Indiana?
Nashville, yeah, that was in Brown County. Nashville was. And that I said I thought was Uncle John Bailey. They said somebody told me this, that they didn't know for sure what his name was. He, what do they call it?
Immigrated?
Got out of the Civil War, or it must not have been the Civil, maybe it was. He got out and run away from the war and changed his name.
I don't blame you.
But Uncle John, that he got married by that name and all, so I don't know whether maybe he had changed it back before that time.
Now,
And I know his son's in here.
but you don't know which one.
I knew him then, but I can't figure him out in here. I think that's Harry Daly.
Would have been his son, probably.
No,
Oh.
that isn't. There was any
different
relation. It
Daly.
was a different. He was married to your dad's aunt, Sarah. She's in here someplace, but I can't. I can't tell who they are. These old men back here, the husbands of the women.
But you
I
can't
don't
pair
know.
them up.
What?
But you can't pair them up. You don't know
No.
which ones were.
You gonna tell us about Florence again so we can remember that?
What do you want? Tell everybody about it?
No, just so we'll know, because I never had heard that before.
I said she was going a while, probably about that time, with Lawrence Stuckey.
Neighbor boy.
And then the next spring, the first day of May, she had a baby, little baby girl, and she said it belonged to your dad.
What did she name the baby? You know?
No, if you can't remember, that's all right. And you said that Dad denied any
Yeah,
having anything to do with it. But you wasn't sure.
no, I don't.
Why, did you ever have trouble like that after that?
Did what?
Did you ever have trouble after that, like that?
Well, he was always accusing me of having men around.
Were you guilty?
No, I
Mother.
wasn't. No, I
I
wasn't.
know better than that.
No, he had me crying about half of the time because he was always accusing me of having men. He'd come home, he'd go to town, come home. He drank quite a bit them days, and he'd come home and he'd see men's footprints. He knew I'd have some
Because he was drunk then.
No, it wasn't always because he was drunk. But he was that way from the first, when we first got married, we stayed at my folks till after Christmas. We was married on the
8th
eighth day of December, and we stayed with them, and that after we went home that night, after we went over to Uncle Frank Whittington's and got married, we went home, and I guess I never would have said go to bed. I was scared. And my mother, I don't know, she went out in the kitchen, and I guess she called me out there, and I went out, and she said, well, you better be going to bed. It's time you was going to bed. So I went in and I started up the stairs. I said, come on, we got to go to bed. So we went to bed. Calzo and Harley sleeping in the bed right across from us in the same room.
And?
Now what else do you want to know?
Well, I'd like to know again about, you said when the baby was 2 weeks old?
Yeah, when she was just maybe a little more than 2 weeks old, but not much. I would say about 2 weeks old, because she had just got up a day or two before that.
Mm-hmm. Well, who was that went berry picking?
Uh,
Who all went berry picking? Well,
all I know of is Mom and Edel.
oh,
I don't know where the rest of the kids was, because Edel told me this part of it. And she said that Florence wanted her to stay there with her, and she wanted to go with Mom to pick berries, so they went. And I got thinking about it, and it don't seem like I guess maybe the dewberries would have been ripe the middle of May, probably.
yeah, they probably would have. Well, then when they come back, then they found her.
Yeah. And Edel said there was this where she had thrown up that stuff, blue, green, whatever it was, stuff was just all over.
Well, she was probably unconscious then.
Well, she probably was, but when they come back, I don't know, but she probably was. I never found out anything more. I never asked them any question, and they never told me anything.
Because you probably felt guilty because she had accused your husband.
Yeah.
So you just tried to not say anything. Well,
I was there just a day or two before that.
Before she killed herself?
And give her a ball now.
Well, because she was accusing
your
husband.
Well, then where was Florence buried? Was she buried on the place, or did they have cemeteries, or what?
Yeah, she was buried in South Bethany Cemetery.
Huh.
Well, how come we didn't find that grave when we were there?
We can't find them graves. I had another a little sister baby buried there too, and Florence and her were buried right close, side by side.
Did you go to her funeral?
No, I didn't. I went, well, I guess they had, I say I can't remember hardly anything about it. They must have had some kind of a funeral. They never went to funeral home.
Yeah.
But I remember going to the house that day.
And she was there after she killed herself.
She was there yet that day. And And that was the day of the funeral, and they took her. I don't even remember us seeing them take the casket out of the house or anything.
Well, sometimes things that upset you, your mind sort of blanks out and you don't remember it.
And I know that I didn't go.
Did Dad go?
No, he never went up, never went to the house or anything.
Did he ever go? Did he go back to your folks after that time, ever?
Not till after they come, and I don't know whether he ever went to their house then. But they come to our house. They come there. I don't know whether they come after she died. I can't remember that. Or whether they didn't come. I know after when they come back, he went to town. I imagine with the big wagon and picked him up.
Oh, they came back on the train.
Yeah.
Well, did your folks hold that against Dad all that time?
They never said a word ever to me about it or anything, and I never said anything to them. I don't know whether they did or whether they didn't.
Well,
But when they come back from Kansas, why they come to our place and stayed a day or two till they got settled in the old house again.
well, the other kids must have been. How many kids did they have with them then? Aunt Pearl and Aunt Edel, and no, not Aunt Pearl.
They had
Yeah, Aunt Pearl.
Mamie, Kelso, and Harley, Edel, Ray, and Pearl.
Oh my land! All 6 of them, and the baby. They took the baby out there too.
Yeah, they took the baby when they went
Yeah.
out, but they didn't have the baby when they come back.
And you don't remember that baby's name, you said?
No,
What they
I
named the
can't
baby?
remember that baby's name.
Well, probably Aunt Edel or somebody'd know what it was.
Yeah, because of
Edel would know, I know.
Yes, because they go back with all that, because they're related. Well, anything else you want to tell us?
Not anything that I know of.
How old was you then when you ever moved away from Indiana?
How long had she been?
No, how old was you when you moved from Indiana? Letha and Herb and Ethel was all born in Indiana?
Yeah,
We got that on that other tape.
well, I was 17 when Ethel was born.
Oh, well then you was only, if Florence was only 15, you was only 16 or a little more when that happened. If she was only,
Yeah, well, I was
I thought
was
you
16. I was 17 in March
Yeah.
before Ethel was born.
Yeah, but how old were you when you got married?
I was 15.
in December and you were 16 in March.
Yeah, I was 15. I left from the
Yeah.
8th of December till the 10th of March of being 16.
Did all the girls get married that young?
No,
Well, then, how long after you were married was it that Florence's baby was born?
it was well, it would have been from December. We would,
It would have had to have been a year, and if you was married in December and her baby was born in May,
but two.
it would have, it would have been 2 Mays on.
Yeah.
Been a year and a half after you was married.
15 or 16.
Ethel was born in March.
Ethel was born
In
before.
1905.
But it was after she died, before Ethel was born.
No,
Oh, before she died.
You had Ethel
Oh.
before she had her baby then.
yeah, Ethel was born
Oh.
and Florence stayed with me and worked for me when Ethel was born.
Did you know she was pregnant then?
And they didn't know it, they said. Didn't anybody know it
Till the baby was born?
till it was time, I suppose, when they had to go and get the doctor.
What year was that now?
1905.
Alright, Dan. 75 years ago.
Then Ethel was already born before.
Ethel was born the 27th of March, and Florence's baby was born the first day of May.
Huh.
Hmm.
Well, maybe that's why women back then wore those big clothes, you know,
Yeah.
all ruffly and
Yeah.
full.
They wore
Mother
corsets
Hubbard.
too.
They call them Mother Hubbard.
Yeah.
Didn't they wear corsets too, though?
Yeah, they wore for dress up. They wore.
Well, now, I don't see how, if she stayed with you and worked for you, how could she have ever kept that and not ever said anything?
I don't know.
But you know, Pete's sister Viola did the same thing. Nobody knew that she was expecting till the night the baby was born.
I never asked my folks anything, and they never told me anything. I know after she quit working and went back home after Ethel was born, my mother took her to the doctor. The same doctor that I had and the same doctor that she had. They took her to the doctor, and if the doctor knew anything, if the doctor told them anything, they never let on to me. They come back and stop at my place on the way back home.
I'll bet they knew. I'll bet the doctor told them then. At that.
But they,
Don't you ever wish that you would have talked to your mother about some of these things now? See, that's why we've been wanting to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're not always going to be around.
oh, I'll be here for
Another 10 years.
probably. Oh, I got a nice letter from a man yesterday.
Oh, my land.
What is his name? Bosto.
Oh, Elbow.
Yes.
Oh, because for your
For your
why?
birthday?
He wrote congratulating me on my age and about different things, and
He wants you to vote for him.
he hoped I had a happy birthday
Yeah,
again. He must have knew when my birthday
I
was.
forgot that he do that.
Well, you don't have your birthday isn't yet.
Well,
Gotta get another one.
you got any more? Have you got other interesting things that happened to you when you was a kid or a teenager that we ought to know
That's
about?
what Vicky likes to know. Likes to hear things. That's why she made me promise that I'd get some stuff of you on recording. That's what she likes to hear about, the things that happened a long time ago. Just any old thing that happened to you.
Well, I can't tell you anything that happened, anything special. Only one time I know is we was going to church. There was snow, and we went in a big old sled with the straw in the back of it. That was before we was married, and we was going to church. Of course, I was your dad and me was sitting in the front seats.
Smooching?
What?
Smooching?
No, we wasn't smooching. He was driving the horses.
Oh.
And they was sitting in the back of the whole bunch of the young people I can remember. I know John Stahl was one of them. And all of a sudden, your dad kept driving. He wasn't your dad then, but he kept driving over to the edge of the road, just to
Yeah,
like
scaring people.
young people, do. and all of a sudden he got too close, and over we went, and John Stull hollered, "But Jesus, Henry," and I believe we're tipping over. I remember that so well. And we just all went, tipped right out over in the ditch. And the horses just stopped and stood there, but one of them was a sort of a kicker. I remember that your dad said to me that I better get out of there because I was right behind that kicking horse.
Did you ever call him Henry or just your dad?
I always call him Henry.
Well, see, I never ever heard you refer to him only as your dad.
Well, I wouldn't say Henry when I'd be talking to you kids, naturally.
Well, maybe. You can't remember other exciting things that happened when you were... Well, how about deaths or what?
About death.
About deaths or marriages or births or house burnings or...
Oh, our house burned over in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, I remember
We got
that.
on the other.
Yeah, but I mean when you were a kid.
Well, our house never burned.
Good.
No.
Was you
I
born?
know your grandpa
Yeah.
There she was.
used to get up in the morning and go out and get a pail of water out of the old well,
Yeah.
open well,
Yeah.
and he'd get a pail of water and bring it in,
Just
build a fire in the heating stove and in the cook stove, and fill a tea kettle, and then he'd call my mother, and she'd get up, and in about 15 minutes she'd have breakfast ready, and she'd always bake biscuits for breakfast. And of course he'd have this oven hot, the stove to go on, and all the heat we had was in the living room with the fireplace.
I can't, where was the stove at when we used to go down there as kids? I can't even remember a stove in that living room. There must have been.
Fireplace, probably.
Or was there just a fireplace?
Of
Of course, we were there in the summertime, so maybe they
A
didn't have...
long time after I was married, before they ever had a stove, they just had that fireplace.
Well, how did she fix...
Well,
You mean a heating stove? She had a cook stove.
yeah,
Oh.
A cook stove and a fireplace. Yeah.
and the cook stove, when Dad was around the house, he always kept the door shut between the living room and the kitchen.
Why?
To keep the living room warm. And Mom would be working in the kitchen freezing.
Oh, my land. Well,
Well, she had the cook stove in the kitchen.
Yeah, but the floor, Edel and Pearl talks about that. The floor had cracks. You could, when you swept the floor,
You
you
just
could
sweep it
sweep
through
it
the-
down through the cracks.
well,
And they never had a carpet on the floor or anything on the kitchen floor. Just the
the
bare
bare board.
floor.
Yeah. Well,
And we had two beds in the living room.
how'd you get up in the upstairs? The ladder climbing up or a stairway?
No, there was right by the front door. Ray's got a picture. Well, I've got a picture of my old home here. We'll find it someplace in these old pictures if we ever get to them. And there was, like, this was the living room, and here was the door come out here,
In the front door.
and then there was a window on both sides, and there was
No.
steps to come down to get outside, and right over here
This is stairs.
there was a step and went up to you went into the place where you stepped up a step there and you stepped up another step, and then you turned and you went upstairs to go up
Real steep ones.
them real steep steps.
Did you ever go down there and stay in the summertime?
One time I remember, but I was only
And when we got up the stairs, then when we got right there on with the old floor, and there was a hole right at the head of the stairs in one of the boards, and I remember getting up there, and when at Christmas time, they'd always get us to go to bed early so they could, usually we got maybe a stick of candy and once in a long while an orange. And I remember having 2 dolls when I was home, when I was a kid at home. I know one of them I called Lottie.
How come you never? It's a wonder you never named a girl Lottie then.
I don't know. And we'd get up there and set up there on the top and peek down through that hole to see if Santa Claus was coming. We thought we'd see Santa Claus.
Did you ever see him?
No.
Wasn't there ever any kind of other kind of scandals or anything that ever took place? Any kind of scandals or any juicy gossip things that ever happened?
Well, I remember, this isn't about our house, but I remember, I don't know whether my dad was in it or not, but I wouldn't be surprised. The neighbor's wife and husband wasn't getting along. Sadie Stahl and let's see, what was her husband, what was their name after she got married? And a bunch of the men got a hold of him one night and tarred and feathered
Oh,
him.
mercy. All over?
Yeah. They said,
Did he have clothes on? Did they put...
Well, I suppose they took his clothes off.
Oh, my.
I never seen it, of course, but I heard him talking about it.
Well, because he wasn't getting along with his wife, huh?
Well, and of course it was the Stahl boys that got it up, and they probably got some of the other men to help them.
Probably. Well, I guess life was as interesting back then as it is now.
Yeah. I know my Aunt Lizzie, the first post office that we had when I was a kid was called the Whittington Post Office.
Was that in Columbus?
No, it was out from Columbus, about a mile up over the hills from where we lived.
Huh.
And my Aunt Mary and her husband, Uncle Amos, had that store and post office together. And I can remember going up there. They, of course, the house was there too, and they lived in the house. And I can remember going there, and they had 3 girls. Let's see. They had 3 girls and a boy. One of their girls died while they lived there, I remember. And we used to go there. I can just see that old house and different places in it. And their youngest girl, Elizabeth, died. And I don't know, this was just, I just heard it, little sketches from different ones, that Uncle Amos got fresh with my mother. And I know Dad got mad at it and wouldn't have anything to do with Uncle Amos anymore, so we couldn't go there.
Well, like I said, it was the same then as it is today. That tape just about done.
And then right away after that, they moved away from out there. And when I never knew too much about them after that.
Are they the ones that had the post office?
Yeah.
They what?
They come back, and I guess they moved to Indianapolis. The best I can remember. I know I was I never did see, don't remember of ever seeing them after they come back.
Did they have other things at the post office, like a store?
Yeah, they had a store.
Oh.
The store and the post office. I remember when I was just a kid, going up there to the store after they moved away. Dave McGaw's moved in and took over the store. And they moved the post office to South Bethany, and then they moved it to Columbus, and then we finally got a rural route.
Was that the little grocery store that was there by Grandma Pittman?
No, that wasn't that one.
You know, it's almost noon.
I don't even know who it was had that store. That was that.
We better stop and get Horace's dinner and eat. Then we'll carry on from here.
Oh, boy. I want to get some of them old pictures sorted out.
Okay, we'll get them right after lunch.
Those not near as long as they are. And I told him about it. I said the windows was long. Look.
It's coming apart.
Now we can put some back there in them places. Some.
Well, you've got written underneath this too, but you can't see it. So I said we should write on the back of the picture. That was Mary Shea.
This one says Jesse, May, and Sugar. Who was Sugar?
Oh, that's was man. What was his name?
Jesse.
Uncle Jess and Aunt May, and it was his niece, I think, that was staying with them. That's
Oh, Bill Williams. Who else now?
Is that his name? That guy that Lois married? Lois with Todd?
that's their old.
Oh, that's John and Al Billiard.
Your grandpa Whittington built that house.
Now that's where I stayed, girl. The one time when all of us went with Carl and Ethan went down to Indiana, I stayed there. That's why I don't remember from being at.
And well, I can't remember either. But they built that house just a little while before we come to Michigan, or not to Michigan, to Warren County.
Was that in there?
Maybe it was up there.
That's Mary Ruth or Phyllis and.
That's Mary Ruth. Yeah.
Oh.
That's Don and Carolyn.
Yeah. And this one's Mary Ruth. Phyllis.
I think.
Yeah, that's Phyllis.
That one wasn't in there. That's Aunt Mary or Aunt May? Aunt May. Mary.
Aunt Mary, I think
Mary.
that's Mary.
There's something about Carol Hyatt, 1116 Corny Street.
I don't, maybe keeping this one. Do you want to keep Paul Kirkpatrick's picture in there?
No.
That's what I thought. I didn't think of it. Well, I wish I had that old rocking chair. Wonder whatever happened to that.
I don't know. What happened to a lot of
I
our
know.
old stuff?
Well, you didn't. It wasn't worth anything, so you threw it away.
That was taken,
Yeah, on the Johnson farm.
yeah, for your dad died.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember Mary Howard?
Is this Mary Howard? No.
Mary Howard.
Oh,
They lived on the. She stayed with her brother and her sister and her brother-in-law, and they lived on the corner of Forney and Jefferson. Carpenter.
well, I don't know that. Don't know her from Adam.
I just told you it's Mary Howard.
Yeah, but I said I don't know her.
Well, that's Barbara and Mary Ruth and Don and Carolyn. And that must be Phyllis, but I don't know who that is holding. It must have been one of John's friends.
That's what I think. They've got the wrong name on this, because that guy's name was Walt. But I don't know who wrote Bill Williams on there. That guy that Lois married, his name was Walt. So that guy there might be
don't
Bill
know
Williams.
on
See anything on the back?
with these
No.
old pictures.
I don't know who that is, but only I know who the kids are. Now,
That looks like that guy
put it
that,
up in there then.
whose name was Bill Williams to me.
I
You
can't
know what
remember.
that is?
Was that Dad's grave?
Yeah.
Thought it probably.
Well, that was the guy that Oni and I don't guess Oni went with him. We both liked him, though, probably. Walt. Sure that. Who told you that was Bill Williams? That's your writing on there. Who said that guy's name was Bill Williams?
Why do you keep a picture like that? You don't know what it is. That's Don and
She probably knew at the time.
Well, I don't know who. Bill Williams and Lois.
I told you, I
Yeah.
know who they are, but I said, who wrote that? You wrote that on there. Who told you that's who they were?
Well, I must have wrote it probably when the picture was taken.
These
Don must
pictures
have had
fit
it.
back in here. What's going
I
on?
don't know either. That's John, but I don't know who the girl is.
Well, that's a girl that was in the service when he was in the service.
Oh.
But I don't know her name. He'd know her who she was, I suppose.
No, is this one written on the back of? No.
The
That's
old home place.
okay, but that's Grandma Pittman
Yeah,
and who?
that's Mamie and Rawson. I'm almost
Oh,
sure
I
it
got-
got to that.
thought maybe there was another one.
Here.
Cousin Rawson.
R.O.S.
Rawson. His name was Whittington. He was his dad, and Gertie, he was Gertie's brother,
Yeah.
Gertrude. And their dad was a second cousin to your dad, and his name was Henry Whittington, too.
Oh.
I bet those are some nice old cans on the back porch there.
Oh, I know that's Oni and... Oh, yeah, you've got that one. I wonder what horses those were.
Bird and Daisy, I think.
Did we raise them from colts? We didn't raise Bird and Daisy.
No.
Those are colts.
Well, they're Bird and Daisy's babies.
Must be. Is this Ron? Yeah, it has to be Ron and
That's Ron,
Queenie.
I think. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You got a pen in your purse?
I think I do.
Mother, have you got a pen?
Oh,
Why don't you let me get it?
I could have told you there's a pencil up there.
Pencil.
Oh, here, Dorothy. Take your pen.
Yeah, but we could do it faster if we was both doing it.
You probably can't read my writing anyway. Well, I don't know where these pictures were in here. None of them want to fit back in where they
Some of
were.
them were loose.
This is the way Marie looked when her dad died.
Yeah.
That's out on the Johnson farm.
I remember that.
Oh, she's got a croquet mallet.
There.
We're playing croquet there.
I can too. They don't fit, Mother.
Aunt May and Uncle Jess
Yeah, that's written on there. And sugar.
and play.
Yeah, that's not the right size.
I thought I
Neither's
had them
neither.
over here.
Aunt May and Uncle Jeff?
Thought they fit in there, didn't they?
Yeah. No.
Maybe not.
Marie goes down. You wrote on that. Well, let's go to the next page.
There's the Mormon elders.
Are they? Do you know who they are?
Yeah,
Okay.
That looks like Uncle Kelso.
it is. Kelso and Harley.
Really? Were they Mormon elders then?
No,
Oh.
I said they look like the
Oh.
Mormon elders.
Is that
go-
written on the back one?
Probably
I don't
not.
This is Ruth. I don't know why she's in here. Let's throw her.
No, there's a thing on there. Kelso.
Everybody used to think they was twins when they were 2 years apart.
And
Right on.
Kelso and Harley, did you say?
Yeah.
Put the Mormon elders. No, maybe you shouldn't.